Hey everybody, this is a video about building your bulletin board. The bulletin board is where your parents and students will land when they first log in and jump into your class or your homeroom. This is where you're going to put all of that all year long kind of information, the class expectations or a syllabus if you do that, how to get in contact with you, the stuff that you want parents and students to be able to refer back to all year long. So let's jump in there and see how we edit these. Since you will probably be doing this bulletin board work during the summertime, which is in between terms, you will not likely see the My Classes link along this bar up here. So knowing how to do this will be very useful. If you go to Resources and go to this tile called Group Finder, you can choose the last year's, or the 2017-18, perhaps it'll be in all terms. If I start typing in my course name or homeroom, it'll show up there. If you want to work in next year, you can, but you might want to just work in the 17-18 year and then pull forward any content that you want, which I'll get into in a minute. But that is a way to get into that course. So I thought I'd point that out on the front end. Normally you will see your classes in a link here, which you'll see in just 1 second. To enter the bulletin board area, you log in, go to your classes link here, choose either your homeroom or the class whose bulletin board you want to edit. And here are the various tabs that belong to this class group. First one is bulletin board. And you see I've got a little content here, but not very much. I'm going to click this Enter Edit Mode button. Now draw your attention to this left-hand column. This is where all the various elements are and your controls are. I'm going to point out this Import Material button here. This is where you can move content that you did. Maybe you worked on this a little bit this year during the school year. You went to one of the workshops and started building out your bulletin board. You can pull that material forward in whole or in part. You choose the year and the section or homeroom. And then you can decide whether you want to pull forward any elements that you placed in years past. And we'll look at some of these elements so you know what they're about, but this is where you can decide to pull it forward or not. This is the layout switcher. You can see that I've got selected, I think it's the default 2-column layout, which is a wide column on the left and a narrow one on the right. You can choose these at any time, even after you have content on here, and it won't get rid of anything. It'll just resize it. These are modules that are drag and drop. So you can see I've got a text module here, and you notice that it's not in this list anymore, they're not in use, because you only can use these one time. Horizontal lines and spacers you can use multiple times. That said, you've got one text block, but there are some elements here, like expectations or a grading rubric or maybe a syllabus, that actually allows you to upload files into it. So if you have those sitting somewhere else, you can import those. Let's bring a photo in. If I just want to bring a photo area, I just drag it over here until I see, you see if I move it over here, you get this marquee, and you can move it above or below other elements that you've got. If I decided I wanted to have my downloads on top, I can just drag it like so. So you can move things around. In some of these, you can add multiple iterations. So if I wanted to have a photo gallery, I could add multiple photos. They call it an album. So I'm not going to give this album a title immediately, and I'll show you why in a second. In the meantime, I'm going to grab a picture from my desktop. I can drag it in here. I could give it a caption if I want. I'm just going to have that serve as a single image that'll be on the top of that page. I could choose to publish it at a particular time and expire after a while. So if I wanted to line up several different pictures and have a different picture every week or something, I could pre-plan that. I'm going to hit save, just add one for now. So here's the reason that I didn't put a title in before. If you notice when you hit save that nothing happens, it usually means that you've forgotten something. So scroll up and there it is. It wants me to put an album title in there. Now let's hit save. And you can see it's there. Now if I want to preview this page, there's a button for that down here. You can take a look. That's what it will look like. Looks great. Going to go back. Now no one's going to see that until I actually hit the publish layout changes. I can publish it without looking at it or go to the page afterward. So if I publish layout changes, I'm still here in editing mode. It immediately gets published and everybody can see what I just did. If I had just navigated away from here, I went to another class or something else without saving it, without publishing it rather, it would still save it. It would not change in here in the editing mode, but it would not be published. So I'm going to bring over another element here just by way of demonstration. I'm going to bring over some links. Maybe this would be something that would be links that you'd want to have your students and maybe your parents, the parents of your students, have access to all year long. Let's say I wanted to have the, let's add another link here. Let's something like that for the title. And I could add a photo if I wanted to. But I'm just going to choose a URL. I'm going to go over here to the library website and copy that URL and paste it right in here. And I'll hit save. So here's important links. Let's just preview it and see what it looks like. And it gives me this important links. I may want to give that a better name. So I could add another one, or I could edit this one using the pencil. So since this deals just with the library, if I wanted to add another one, I could do that by hitting the add button. If I wanted to have a header on this, and include an image, I can do that. Let's see what that looks like. That makes more sense. So your links will all be lined up here. Be important to name them by where they go, clearly. So we'll go back. I have a horizontal line here. I can also put a spacer if I want to between various elements. If you want to do announcements, have something that's being updated so that when parents or students are coming here, then they'll see something new. You may do that. It works in a similar way where you can add multiple announcements. You can have an expiration, a publish date and an expiration date with these as well. And just don't forget that you need to publish your layout changes so that they'll stick. So my suggestion is that you go and, I'm going to hit back to my bulletin board. I suggest that you go in and play around, add some material just to get the year started, and you'll probably think of ways to use it over the course of the year.